Hello out there. This is going to be an interesting sort of multi-all-in-one video. I'm going to cover a couple of things. This is not a Nostale video, so if you wanted to catch that, that's over in my other playlist. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about a couple of branches off of fraud. How can you get, how can you become the victim of fraud? There are a couple of ways. There's always the Nigerian prince scam, which I'm sure it comes in multiple various formats. There's, the friend who's stuck in some country and they're needing you to Western Union them, a couple $1,000 to get home. Or there's the I'm a widow of such and such, or you've been chosen and found because some inheritance scam thing, and the smart person scratches their head and wonders, okay, what weird relative do I not know about that's died recently? Always, and I mean, I toy around with some of them a little bit just to be like, okay, well, which relative died? I don't know any rich relatives. I don't have any rich relatives. So it's like, okay, which rich relative do I not know about who's died recently? There's a bunch of variants on that. You've just won the MSN, 1 million lotto or something, and you've got to send them a processing fee of $500 or some weird something like that. Any of those sorts of things that say, oh, well, you've got to pay us money in order to receive X amount of money, it's usually fraud. They're usually trying to scam you. Today, in fact, I was at the post office and somebody had left a piece of mail sitting on the counter. And so I looked at it, and it's your standard, looks like it's probably junk mail. So I didn't, think too much of it. And I put my hand on the piece of mail and felt it, and there was a card inside. So I'm pretty sure it's, one of those, here, this is a credit card, call to activate it, one of those sorts of things. Or it's any number of those variants. Now, one way that people can have their identity stolen is that sort of mail. You do not leave anything like that just lying in the post office. Somebody can come along, pick it up, open it up, find that there's a credit card or something in it that they can take, and they can go, and if they've got enough information, go and activate it and spend, depending on the credit limit, $100, $200, $300, $400, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, and before you know it, somebody has spent a whole bunch of money in your name, and unless you know about it really quickly, you're screwed, and you're, out a whole bunch of money. So I always tell people, be careful with your mail. Don't just leave it lying around. Now, I did the nice thing, and I tossed the piece of mail back into the letter slot at the post office so that it can be either redelivered to whoever it was meant for, or they can, it can get returned back to sender, or whoever it's for can deal with it properly. Anytime I get any sort of cards like that in the mail and I don't want them, don't need them, don't use them, I chop them up with a pair of scissors, and I usually toss the little pieces into the junkiest, crappiest, scroungiest trash that I have in the house. Usually it's like the food trash bag that I toss it into. So if you really, really want it, I'm going to make you work for it. But usually that sort of stuff ends up at the bottom of a huger bag that goes to the dump, and they don't allow people to just dig around in that trash, so that's a good thing. I also wanted to touch a little bit on my current situation and talk a little bit about, you know, the local area and a couple of other things that are going on in life in general. So I'm going to give a little plug to the Hiawassee Taco Bell, because my girl works there and they need plenty of business, and it's like, hey, I'm going to free advertise. So go visit the Hiawassee Taco Bell and either see how good you like it, or how bad you hate it, or how much you think it's a little bit less bad than the one in Blairsville, or the one in Murphy, or, you know, that sort of deal. Yes, I am still here in this house in Warren. Hopefully I'll get to be here a little while longer, but you never know. Did want to mention that my Nostale domain renewal fund did meet for this next year, so I made the $16 for the renewal for just the domain name stuff. That doesn't include the whole other domain stuff. That's a different can of worms, which will come along in 2 years' time. That'll be like 2019, 2020 or so, if I live that, if I make it that far, right? Yeah. So yeah, go visit the Taco Bell in Hiawassee, Georgia, if you're in that area. Yeah. Until next time, bye.